Anyway, we're already at level 86, so we're going to be able to just breeze right through all these. So let's go ahead and talk to Lala and start the next one. Golem. Golems Gone Wild. Lala would share with you the knowledge she has gleaned. Ah, brilliant. Good. For better or worse, it would seem Shitoto is still enjoying herself a peaceful slumber. In the meantime, my studies of the books of Thal has proven rather enlightening. In particular, I was surprised to learn that while the statue of Nald's reflection is relatively recent construction, in historical terms, of course, the goblet it holds in its hands is quite ancient. It would appear that it was within that vessel Mr. Shitoto's soul was sealed away. Master's record goes on to state that the inner surface of the goblet is inscribed with a message in the glyphs of ancient Mach. It reads, yes, here it is. The power of destruction did rend the baleful star, and peace doth reign near and far. Yet 23 centuries hence shall it come anew, and certain doom it is sure to ensue. A prophecy of sorts, it would seem. It has been roughly 2,300 years since Shitoto founded black magic, which means it is entirely possible she herself left the inscription. But whatever sort of doom could the prophecy be referring to? I fear it is all rather cryptic. Ally, and brilliant as well. I would speak to you both at once. Oh, right, this guy. I forgot about him. The cop who was trying to arrest us the whole time in the Heavensward quest line. Ahem. Well, I would like nothing more than to catch up on old times. I come bearing grave tidings. My friends, pray lend me your aid. Do we have to? Well, if it is our favorite gobble-headed hearer, I would have thought the seventh hell would freeze over before you cast your lot with the purveyors of destruction. What have we done to deserve the honor of your groveling? This is no time for jest, Lalai. This situation is most dire. Why, a veritable horde of Christ golems has burst forth from the Lost Wood, and is wreaking havoc on the Twelves Wood as we speak. Audible gasp. Whatever foul sorcery led them to abandon their orders and run rampant, we cannot say, but one thing is certain. If we cannot deal with them, and do so swiftly, there is no telling what damage they might inflict upon our forest home. That does sound like a cause for concern. Very well. I suppose it would not kill us to put the matter of Shitoto aside for a moment and... Wait, no, not now. I say, how could that girl think straight with this ungodly fool's cap weighing her down? Or perhaps she can't, and that is why. But of course, it all makes perfect sense. Oh, hello there. Did you miss me and my prodigious intellect? Of course you did. Now look, we haven't much time, so try to keep pace. This surge of ether, just who or what are you? Yes, I'm sure there's so much you'd like to know, but where would that get us? I've already heard all I need to know through the girl's ears. You're needed in South Shroud, yes? Rampaging golems, was it? Indeed. I have tasked a whaler named Alphine with looking into the matter. With any luck, he has gleaned some knowledge which might avail us in plotting a suitable course of action. Alphine, South Shroud, yes. I believe the great Shitoto has all she needs. Well, come now. No point in standing around like gawping globules when there's work to be done, right? Right? Shitoto? Brilliant. I am most grateful for your aid. Do not get me wrong, but if there's anything you and Lalai have been keeping from me, mark my words, I will hear it in full when our task is done. Sure, dude, sure. You think I'm gonna tell you stuff? I'm not gonna incriminate myself. I mean, what? Nothing is wrong here. Alright, let's head on over to South Shroud and take care of some golems. You know, everybody likes a bit of Golems Gone Wild, right? The sheer etheric energy I feel like exuding from the girl is nothing short of astounding. Could it be that the cap reinforcing... Could it be that cap was reigning in her true power all this time? It's all in the hat, man. The bigger the hat, the stronger you are. That's the motto of the Black Mage. Ah, it is so much easier to think without that excess bulk weighing on my brain. For the life of me, I'll never understand people's obsession with extravagant headgear. Yeah, that's why I play Vieira. Anyway, let's talk to Delphine. Welcome, friends. You come seeking news of the golems, yes? Would that I had any to give. I fear not a single one of the creatures has manifested itself before mine eyes. Huh? Or didn't this guy say they were rampaging? So you say, my good man, but it is possible that you do not see the trees for the forest. Sometimes that which we seek is right before us, and we need only attune our vision. Why, is it just me, or do I spy a number of curious stone creatures peeking out from the brush? Yes, I have an inkling that our foe may be hiding in plain sight. But just how is one to distinguish living stone from more ordinary type? Why, I do believe the former would take far less kindly to being scorched with a burst of hell's fire. So, the plan is clear, yes? Let's get blasting. So anyway, I started blasting. Well, let's get blasting. Where are we headed now? Oh, down south? Let's go. No, there's a rank there. Oh boy, how do you not notice this, dude? A curious structure of stone hands stands motionless before you. Oh, duh, blow it up. Oh, let's start with ice. Oh, I gotta cast fire 3, okay. Gonna mess up my combo. Nope, no it's not. Just gonna make me lose some MP. I was about to say, that guy was really weak. Then I remember that I'm literally like 20 levels higher than him. I haven't actually used Polyglot at all. I just saw this light up, so I hit it. Anyway, we got one more golem over here. One more. Okay, that's all. Let's head on back. Is that all we needed to do to take care of the golems? That seems like a little bit less than rampaging destruction. Right, Chitoto? Is our friend quite well? I only saw her from afar, but it was as if the girl took some perverse pleasure in causing much destruction as she could muster. That's your typical Lala, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. It was fun, wasn't it? Now, while I'm not wont to repeat myself, it seems I should make an exception for the slower members of our band. You have the privilege of standing before the Archmage Shitoto, or rather, a memory of the same, which has awakened after years of slumber to rescue your realm from a fate most dire. slower. Ahem, Lady Shitoto, if that is truly who you are. I cannot deny your arcane prowess, and yet there is much about this that does not sit well with me. Pray explain yourself. What is it, this dire fate which you speak? Oh dear, you really aren't very smart. Very well, I shall begin from the very, beginning. Dear me, did I almost rhyme? Who does that anyway? Anyhow, the tale begins some 2 millennia ago, when the great civilization of Mach was still in its infancy. Our scholars ascertained that a mighty comet, awash with unspeakable ethereal energy, was on a course to strike our fair home and reduce it to so much rubble. And so I thought to rectify the situation the only way I knew how, by blasting the foul rock out of the sky with the most powerful destructive magic our realm had ever seen. Yeah, that sounds about right. This, more than anything, was what spurred me to develop the art of black magic as it is known today. Needless to say, my plan was a remarkable success. A massive chunk of the comet was shattered, knocking it clear off its path and sending it spinning harmlessly off into the heavens. The story, however, does not end there. Fragments of the meteor hurled and embedded themselves in the earth. While small enough that their impact caused no significant damage, they remained beneath the surface, brimming with etheric energies, just waiting to be unearthed. Needless to say, these otherworldly stones drew the attention of mages far and wide, who sought to claim their powers for their own. They are the stones that gave the golems their souls, by whose power many a city-state flourished. And yet, these stones held yet further secrets. When 2 of them were brought together, they would call out to one another, aether reaching to aether to augment their mutual powers to still greater heights. Mind you, the power of mere fragments, even in a heightened state, would be far too meager to be cause for concern. One threat, however, still lingered. What if the comet, the mother stone as it were to return? Its circuitous orbit, bringing it in shouting distance of our world once more? Would not this remnants, its children, summon it hither in all its destructive glory? Preposterous! Did your vaunted black magics not knock the comet clear across the skies? Why, it is simply inconceivable that its new path would bring it round back in our direction. Inconceivable to feebler minds, mayhap, but not my own. In fact, I posit that the comet is drawing nearer every moment, and it is for this very reason that the golems are now running amok. If left unattended, the implications for this world would be calamitous indeed. Oh, I happen to have a lot of experience with that. Fortunately, you have an ally in the impending battle, a prodigy who foresaw the danger that was to come, and sent her memory into the future that she might return to save the day. I didn't send my mind to the future. Oh, you're talking about yourself, okay. Did you mean to say that you predicted that this threat would come? Over 2,000 years ago? Mind you, devised an incantation for the sole purpose of allowing you to return to us in our time of need? I do believe I already said precisely that. Of course, I do not do it entirely on my own. The spell would have been lost to history if a crazy old Kukuraka hadn't dug it up when he did and recorded it for posterity. Dear little Lala and Brilliant also played their parts as well. Oh, how wonderful it is when one's followers, against their natural tendencies perhaps, manage not to make an utter mess of things. I must admit, the whole story still strikes me as a bit far-fetched. I mistrust neither your motives nor your skill, Letitia Toto, but as a hearer charged with the protection of this wood. I cannot leave this matter to you alone. Do we have to? Well, please do. That would make things a lot better. I will accompany you and offer what aid I can. But first, let us return to ul'dah. I would hear more of the plan you propose before we take action. Must you? Very well. I just promise you'll not get in our way. Now, come along, my puppets. I have a realm to save, and you're going to help me. Okay, let's head back to ul'dah then. Unfortunately, we got stupid Catboy here, who's gonna end up messing things up. But we got Shitoto and her great intellect. Alright, let's go and talk to the stupid Catboy, and then talk to Shitoto. It does not appear the sorceress means us ill, but I still do not feel entirely safe in her presence. And whatever has she done with Lalai? Well, she took off her hat for one. Clearly it was slowing down her intellect. The hearer assures me that there have been no golem uprisings elsewhere, and since he clearly is too thick to tell a convincing lie, I am inclined to believe him. This means that we still have time to form a plan of attack. Ahem. I do pride myself on my honesty, we know. And so I will be honest with you when I say this. Your art is, to put it kindly, not looked fondly upon in our day and age, and your story stretches the limits of believability. We cannot stave off this calamity alone, but any entreaties you might make are not likely to find a receptive audience. I, on the other hand, have friends in positions of some prominence. I shall reach out to them and see what aid they are willing to offer. How charming! He actually thinks he might prove himself useful. In your spare time, might you not ask your astrologian friends if they have any recent calculations on the comet's path? I have no reason to doubt the accuracy of my own, of course, but I was working off 2 millennia old data. As you wish. Forgive me for being forward, but might I inquire as to the well-being of our mutual friend Lalai? She is still in there somewhere, yes? Oh, she most certainly is. Worry not. The girl's consciousness is just enjoying a short respite. Which reminds me, I really am due for a nap myself. Be a dear and do not try not to let things go to hells in my absence, will you? That's gonna be a bit of a stretch, but we'll try. Toto, mother of the art that brought the great floods upon us. Has she truly returned to deliver us from doom? Well, it seems like it so far, but I suspect the last quest is going to be us fighting her, so we'll get to that later. The progenitor of our esteemed art has chosen me as her vessel in hopes of saving our world from a falling star. I can scarce imagine a greater honor. Come, Berlian, we must put our minds together and figure out how we might best do her bidding. Wait, Lalai. If we have her words at face value, Shitoto was only the realm's best interest in hearts. And yet, I, for one, remain skeptical. Of course you would. Which is not to say I doubt her intentions, or yours, for that matter. And yet, we speak of the founder of the very art which gave rise to the War of the Magi and the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Could it not be that even in seeking to save our realm, she is likely as not to destroy it? I kind of see your point, but I also wanted to tell you to shut up and go away. Blasphemy! Why, Lady Shitoto had long since passed when the war broke out. Only a blind, blustering half-wit would even think to hold her responsible for... Though, when you put it that way... I understand this. And that is why I begrudge neither you nor her my aid, such as it will serve to protect the realm's peace. At the same time, I intend to keep close watch on her. One can never be too wary after all. In any event, I will gather the knowledge I can of the threat we face, and I would be most grateful if you could do the same. But I suggest speaking to your beastman allies. If The idea has not already occurred to you, that is. Well, considering how little her brain is able to function with that hat on, I'd say it probably hasn't. I swear, that man's head is made of harder stone than any golem. Well, I mean, your head doesn't exactly have that much blood flow to it, but okay. Still, at least he is cooperating with us, which is progress of some sort. In any event, I will reach out to our beastmen friends. I encourage you to return to your studies in the meantime. If one thing is clear, it is that the task ahead will test us to our very limits. Or maybe we can just cast Fire 4 a couple times and we win.